Hey guys, today I will be attempting a style referred to as the JANELLE MONAE. Some people call it the mermaid braid, and you'll also hear people call it butterfly braid. Before starting this style, I used organic coconut oil for blow dry and flat iron purposes. The synthetic hair I used was 1 pack of Expressions hair cut in half and 1 pack of Kinkaline hair. I cut the hair in half and used a rubber band to secure the hair so I can braid it down. I'll explain why I use 2 different types of hair later. And no, I did not cut the Kinkaline hair, only the Expressions. The edge control I use is EBIN New York Edge Lock Edge Control. Love this edge control. That was used just to make my parts more crispy and my edges more laid. So I'm going to part my hair into 3 sections. I'm going to use 2 butterfly clips just to keep my 2 side pieces away from the middle piece. I need my 2 side pieces as neat as possible because those 2 braids will be shown, and those 2 braids matter when you braid them down. Try to get them as neat as possible when you braid them down. I braided the middle braid down first just so it can be out of the way when I'm attempting to do my 2 side braids first. My 2 side braids are going to be more perfect than my middle braid because my middle braid will be covered, but it still has to be a little more tighter than what I just did there. So as I mentioned, I really love this EBIN Edge Lock Edge Control. It not only lays my edges down really well, I love to part my hair with this edge control. As you can see here, it makes the part just really straight and really neat. If you're not a good braider, it's okay, but your braids should be as neat as possible. Try to get them as neat as you can. If your hair isn't as long enough to catch, you should use synthetic hair to add into your hair to braid it down, because you are going to braid both the side braids and that middle braid together. So all 3 of your braids are going to eventually connect at the back of your head, or you can pull it into a small tight ponytail at the end. So like I said, I'm going to braid that middle braid down again because I will be sewing on my braids. So I need that middle braid to be a little tighter. I chose to use blonde. I didn't originally plan that, but it worked out really well in the end. Now here's the fun part. We're going to start sewing the hair down. So you start with the Kinkaline braid. At the back of your head, you're going to use 2 straight pins just to pin them in place so that they can stay there while you prepare the other braids to be braided down. I start with the blonde braid in the middle, and I start sewing it, connecting it from the back up to the front, and I sew it both sides, left and right side, and I take that tail piece and I just pin it down with 2 more bobby pins before I start sewing down my first black braid on one side. When I sew down the black braid on that side, I'm not starting on top of my side braid. I'm just starting from where my loop ends. And as you can see here, I'm sewing the black braid to my blonde braid and onto my scalp so that they can stick together as if it was 3 braids stuck together into one braid. And when you get to the back of your head, you have to make sure that you're sewing your kink-align bottom braid to the 3 braids that you sewed on the top of your head. And I'm just securing the front by going back and sewing it even tighter to make sure it's secured. So earlier when I mentioned I'm using 2 different types of synthetic hair. Kink-align hair, which is the braid that I'm taking out right here. You see how poofy it is. And the braids that I sewn to my head were actually expression-packed hair. The difference is it just looks neater to use expressions hair on the top braid, and the bottom braid it makes it look poofier, thicker, bigger to use the kink-align braid on the bottom. You're just taking all of that hair and you're going to braid it together, intertwining the 2 different hair textures. And no worries, it's not gonna look crazy. As you can see, the 2 different hair textures still mesh together nicely and create a giant braid, which some people call butterfly braid and some people call a mermaid braid. And this is how I created my JANELLE MONAE hairstyle. You can either burn your ends with a lighter, or you can boil your ends in hot boiling water. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed me creating this hairstyle. I really love it. This hairstyle should last me a week. And if you like what you see, please subscribe, like, comment below if you have any questions.